Chair, when I was looking online just to refresh myself, the internet gave me Kaiti because I just wanted to know whether it's Makueni or Kaiti. So this is internet knowledge now. I just know that one.
That's fine. Just to get the general area.
Okay.
So how would you say you were appointed to this position by His Excellency the Governor because of the suitability, or why do you think the Governor nominated you among the many who are interested in this position?
Yes, I believe qualified. Yes, just looking at my CV, I've worked with communities for long, and I feel very at home, actually, to be honest, with both academic and qualification. You are talking of over 22 years experience working in communities, not just in Kenya. I don't know which part of this country I didn't travel, going to look after projects. And two, out of my passion for development, I actually was key in developing your manifesto current one. So I almost know it okay, a lot more. Let me not say okay. But I led it from scratch when Governor expressed interest. We met when I wanted him to launch anti-corruption solution beyond 2030 because my background is in foresight. So I look at ahead. And so I asked him to launch my book on corruption, and that's where we met. And so a development piece of manifesto. But two, I am also a Makueni resident. So occasionally when I see development stuff, like recently there was a time I was in Kiboko area and I heard villagers complaining about spillage and all that. So I'm interested. He knows I love community, all that. So I'm interested. He knows I love community. He knows I'm competent professionally, and he knows I'm passionate about the poor and marginalized. I'm passionate about them. So I'm passionate about their welfare. So it's both professional experience, but also passion.
And could it also be a reward?
No, I wouldn't say.
Coming up with this
If it was possible, I would have gone for the CEC jobs.
Oh yeah.
Chair, I have 20. I have 20. I have made up my mind. Let me say this. At my age, I'm not going out for status. I'm going out. Means you serve people. If I did make you money, this would be the wrong place too. And this is not an employment. This is a service job. And I have a job, for your information, that pays me reasonably well. So I think it's a reward. A doctor wouldn't go for this if I wanted status. It's an issue of service. And he thinks I have the integrity and the capacity to shepherd resources for the community selflessly.
Thank you. I'll invite other members to shoot any questions you think could help us.
What's your understanding about the mandate and the objective of this fund?
Yeah. So let me say first, I'm very impressed by the level of documentation that is in place for this and online. And I was impressed by the mandate of empowering the poor and the marginalized, particularly the most vulnerable, the women, the youth, the men, and also the people living with disability, and in a manner that is inclusive, in a manner that develops their business capabilities, and in a manner that helps them to be able to maximize their capacity. So I see that as a mandate for this fund, to empower them actually, and also in a manner that is not inclusive. So this is what I capture as a mandate really.
If you are vetted by this committee, how will you ensure the strategy of this committee is more value than election?
Yeah. I mean, the role of this, the role that or get lost in the element of operations. You leave the operations with the secretariat and stay on top of governance. Really, sometimes capacity building on governance helps. I am privileged to have started different. I'm privileged to have been in secretariat and governance, so I know the two. The experience is massive. Even today, I sit in different the fund itself. There's Makueni County Empowerment Fund Act. As I said, the system, there's so much information online that so that's what I was able to see. There are guidelines, evidence, but I don't think those are acts.
And again, thank you. Can you share with this committee the membership of the MSF committee?
Yeah, of course it begins with the non-executive chair. Then there is legal of the county. The other person is a finance officer who is elected, the administrator of the secretariat itself, and then there are several chief officers from different ministries. I think the guidelines stipulate a few. I see a number of them that comprise that committee are very clear on the various ministries that touch actually the fund itself. For example, one of them is agriculture, livestock. There is the issues of ICT. There is finance itself. There is, I believe, I see myself, devolution should be one of them. This is my thinking. It's not in the list, but I think it is because of the nature of the social protection. And then water. Yeah, I think that's what comes in my mind. But the key officers.
I was going to go an extra mile to ask you whether you think there is, or you feel
yes,
the committee is inclusive, or whether you feel there is any department which is key and has been left out. I was going to ask you that.
With other initiatives out of this country. I have a case, for example, in Rwanda where young people come from work and they have been trained on ICD. I would want to begin to look at those product design initiatives that make the fund more impactful, especially when it comes to the beneficiaries. And also what I would want to call clinics, like business clinics. You development is such that you don't go massive unless you are social. I want to see these business clinics identify specific excellency points in each ward and make sure that you develop something that is modeled and people can have a buy-in of the politician, so that we don't politicize this fund. If you politicize development, you remain poor forever. You must look at it as, you must yourselves look at it as
the success by this fund. In what ways will you be able to measure?
Okay. What comes in my mind first is anytime you give out money for repayment, and that's easy because the system online gives you the data. So, and they say statistics remove emotions from arguments. So if we can be able to use this, when you have a mother who was borrowing 2,000 and is beginning to borrow 50,000, so the volume of borrowing and repayment tells me there's impact. But more so, what is this money doing? Visiting and seeing the impact. If they were not able to pay school fees, are they able to pay? And some of that data can be found out by socioeconomic survey, especially because we are working in partnership, I believe, with the CECs. When they do a survey, it is possible for them to be able to tell this pattern was here, so we use benchmark when they are coming in, and maybe 2 or 3 years, we set a period. 3 years usually is good enough to see impact in development, to start seeing impact. So I would trace that. And the final one is community taking leadership. Challenge us, and they have a stronger voice, then the fund is making it. Because social issues are basically also about profiling the voice of the poor.
In terms of sustainability,
yeah.
What ways or what innovations do you bring to us to make sure that there is sustainability?
Of course, the tough one is to make sure the money is paid back. Because if it's not coming back, you are just plowing in, and it's not coming back. So that's one. It's rigor. Rigor in collecting money, whether we like it or not. And the processes are good, stipulated. You follow through and make sure the money is paid back. But more so is to grow people to a level where they are multifaceted investment. Sometimes the risks that are in development can wipe out one investment, and then you find the other side. They are not able to. So sustainability is when you diversify into it. So the beneficiaries need to be helped diversify so that they are not just taking fund to invest on one element and leave another. That helps with the risk management. But the other sustainability, because if corruption is not attacked or dealt with, it is going to completely just swindle the fund and nothing can be done. And I'll come back to the politicians. They are extremely important. I have been a Kenyan long enough to know a good politician can help in sustainability. Just the way they role model. If as governor you can't demand the integrity, the confidence to demand when you are not clean is really eroded. So again, governance is very important. Good governance, excellent governance of the fund is extremely important. So it's from governance to the actual implementers to the actual beneficiaries. You are tightening every aspect to make sure there is repayment, there is fund is more growth of fund, and people are shifting and they are able to diversify. I think that is what I would say.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's good. How will you align the fund's activities with the Makueni County Development Plan?
The Makueni County Development Plan is really rolled out in a number of sectors. For example, issues related to water development, you can give the fund irrigation. If a farmer comes and maybe they want to either develop a dam or they want to pump water, that's one linkage there. If you fund mothers and they grow good food and they have money and they eat well, you are impacting health. You get to prevent it instead of curative. So you link healthy food with health of the person. The other bit I also see is the social protection aspect of it is in itself just addressed very early in even the aspect of the beneficiary selection. I mean, you're going for the poor, you are going for the gender issues there. So you are addressing social protection. But education, when mothers are able to borrow or families are able to borrow and generate money or make employment and they are able to pay for the education of their children, then of course that is education there, aspect there. And I think general socio-economic issues, because when you have a business and it gives you money, you can even improve your infrastructure at home. I mean, I remember when I was working with table banking women groups someplace in Machakos. These women, I mean, they changed their home environment. That is infrastructure in itself. They changed the way they live. Some of them would buy motorbikes, some of them would build a house. So you can see the linkage in all areas of the development with the fund. Wow. That's what I would say.
Wow. That's well stated. How will you collaborate with the fund's administrator to ensure that there's fairness of the whole program within the 30 wards within the county?
Well, the first thing is to cash in on one of the key responsibilities of this committee is to make sure the information is disseminated. So that's the first thing. People need to know this fund is there.
Initially they knew about it, we used to call it Tether. Now they need to know the new outfit, and everybody needs to hear this. What mechanisms do you think would be best to make sure no one is left out in this communication?
Okay. First, I would develop a schedule of making sure that I know who needs to, which boards. I'm still I don't come to Makueni every time, so how many boards need to know. Media is extremely good. Education, you can go media, the radio, you do it several days. People are here. But also print and literally gather chief, excellent means. You go with the chief, your barazas, you talk to them, and then work with the different ministries to make sure, the departments to make sure that the communities are good. And politicians are excellent. You work with the politicians and they go and say it out. So you really use media, leaders, chief, administration, stakeholders, the different stakeholders. You can gather them together and disseminate that information in print and soft copy, and it goes like bushfire. And where there is a forum, like create groups in different forums where leaders of different areas can access those information. You just post it there, and because people are on technology and information will just go. But basically, those who don't know how to read would be to hold forums to educate them and make sure that they are able to ask questions. But let it go on. The education should be periodical. It shouldn't be one time. It should be a schedule. You do it either monthly, intensively, and then after some time you break, you go out again, and it keeps going out.
Thank you. Any other question?
Thank you, Madam Han. Basing the program, you know there are so many defaulters in this program. What mechanism would you wish or use to recover the defaulter?
Yeah. The online system for this fund management is excellent. That's one I would say. So it does allow, I see on general information that allows people to be able to generally disseminate the information. But normally when you are managing funds, you call people, you assume, even banks call us, you just call them and tell them, hey, you are running behind, what's happening? Because somebody could have a special problem, or maybe they're struggling with the internet or something. Then the other one that I would say is, when you don't pay, you are given demand letter. You write a letter and say, we need our money. You sign something. I don't know yet, but I believe there must be an agreement where groups sign something to say, I'll pay it this way. So you revoke. And because it's community, you send someone sometimes. You send a chief or you send somebody. I want to believe they don't, loans, anywhere, especially where money is loaned, there's always a guarantor. If they don't give, we revoke that, we hold back. And if there are other privileges, we deny them. But I believe you can take people to court, and I am bold enough to.
Thank you.
If somebody doesn't pay money,
yes,
especially if because they can give you assets and they sell in between, because they are keeping the assets, they can give and say, yes, it's Kenya. They can sell. So when you want to go and get the things that you thought were guarantee your security, ng'ombe ishaenda, si tutakupeleka kotini na kupatia.
Thank you. I've heard you clearly. We have listened to your background and your experience and your profession keenly. Any initiative have you done within Makueni?
Yes, and I wouldn't say any initiative. Okay, initiative. I'll say my own. Yes, because I'm a farmer. I'm doing the gala goat somewhere, and there we are training our friends farmers how to do it. But I worked with World Vision in this area quite much. Makueni, I said, oh, Kambani. This particular place in Makueni, education, schools, a lot. We supported schools when I was a coordinator, although that's were not my funds, but I was the manager. Water, development plans, a lot of community. One of the major empowerment things that I would say I did personally, I got involved, was training communities to speak, to voice their concerns, to say, to engage, to be able to challenge. Advocacy is about speaking with, for and on behalf. So that's one big one, I would say. And I'm glad Makueni is still known for communities that speak for themselves. So I pride to be part of the seed that led to that voice that is still provided today. But others were education, training, giving seeds, because that's a form of empowerment. Possibly this fund, we didn't have that fund. We were introducing then in World Vision the cadet, which then we were calling it cadet, and we were still rolling it out. Makueni was just being marked by the time I left the Kenya office. So I wouldn't pride on microfinance, but on voice, seeds, education, youth, I say yes, I did contribute.
Thank you, Madam Han. Basing your experience, how would you collaborate with other agencies or NGOs to promote this program to grow better and with a lot of transparency?
Yeah. Already I said one is in the information dissemination, where you come up. But honestly, to maximize on partners, from government itself, the county government itself, to NGOs, to other stakeholders, small groups, would be to create a situation where we map out our strength. Who is supposed to do what? Because if you don't do that, you can easily double resources. So it would be to map out our strengths and who is where. And then to be able to say, so and so you are good in capacity building, so and so you are good in